What if the very thing you want most in this world is already moving toward you right now, and the only reason it hasn't arrived is because something inside you keeps pushing it away? Not consciously, not deliberately, but through an invisible signal you have been broadcasting every single day of your life without ever realizing it was there. You have been told that desire is the starting point of creation. That if you want something badly enough, if you work hard enough, if you visualize clearly enough, the universe will eventually deliver. But here is what no one tells you. Desire alone is not a frequency of receiving. In fact, the way most people hold their desires actually creates the opposite of what they want. It creates a frequency of absence, a vibration that screams to the field of infinite possibility, "I do not have this yet." And that scream echoes back as more not having, more waiting, more wondering why everyone else seems to receive what you cannot. This is not about effort. This is not about worthiness in the way you have been taught to think about it. This is about something far more subtle and far more powerful. This is about the energetic posture you hold in every waking moment. The silent conversation happening between your inner world and the invisible architecture of reality itself. And once you understand how this conversation works, once you truly feel it in your body and not just comprehend it in your mind, everything changes. Not because the universe suddenly decides to be generous, but because you stop being the one who blocks what was always trying to reach you. Let that land for a moment. Because most people spend their entire lives in a state of energetic contradiction. They pray for abundance while radiating scarcity. They affirm love while vibrating with the wound of rejection. They declare health while their nervous system hums with the frequency of fear. And then they wonder why the prayer goes unanswered. They wonder why the affirmation feels hollow. They wonder why the vision board on their wall looks nothing like the life unfolding around them. The answer is not that the universe is cruel or indifferent. The answer is that the universe is extraordinarily precise. It does not respond to what you say. It does not respond to what you think you believe. It responds to the frequency you actually hold, the one buried beneath your words, beneath your conscious intentions, beneath the carefully constructed story you tell yourself about who you are and what you deserve. That deeper frequency, that hidden broadcast, is the only thing the field of creation ever hears, and it responds to it with absolute fidelity every single time, without exception. So the question is not whether you are worthy of receiving. You are. That was settled the moment you came into existence. The question is whether you are available for it, whether the channel is open, whether the signal you are sending matches the reality you say you want. Because there is a vast difference between wanting something and being in the frequency of receiving it. And that difference is where most people lose themselves entirely. Think about this carefully. When you truly desire something, what happens inside your body? Not in your mind, in your body. For most people, desire activates a subtle tension, a tightening, a reaching forward, a leaning toward the future that simultaneously communicates to the present moment that something is missing. That right here, right now, you are incomplete. And that incompleteness becomes the dominant signal, not the image of what you want, not the words of your intention, the feeling of lack that lives underneath the wanting. That is what broadcasts. That is what the field responds to. That is what creates more of itself in your experience. This is why so many spiritual teachings speak about detachment. But detachment has been profoundly misunderstood. It does not mean you stop caring. It does not mean you become passive or indifferent. Detachment means you release the grip of need that distorts your frequency. You allow yourself to want something fully while simultaneously resting in the wholeness of this moment. You hold the desire without the desperation. You carry the vision without the void. And in that paradox, in that exquisite balance between intention and surrender, the frequency of receiving naturally emerges. But here is the thing. This is not something you can fake. You cannot trick the universe by pretending to be detached while secretly clinging to outcomes. The field reads energy, not performance. It senses the difference between genuine peace and manufactured calm. It knows when your surrender is real and when it is just another strategy to get what you want. And that knowing is absolute. There is no fooling the intelligence that holds galaxies in orbit and keeps electrons spinning in their paths. It reads you at the deepest level, beneath every mask, beneath every strategy, beneath every carefully rehearsed affirmation. So the work is not about learning a new technique. The work is about becoming honest with yourself at a level most people never reach. It is about sitting with the uncomfortable truth of what you actually feel when you think about what you want. Not what you wish you felt. Not what the books told you to feel. What you actually feel. Because that feeling, whatever it is your current broadcast. Until you are willing to meet it, to see it clearly, to understand where it comes from and why it persists, you will keep sending the same signal and receiving the same results, no matter how many new methods you try. If this is resonating with something deep inside you right now, take a moment to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel so these messages can continue finding you when you need them most. Let me take you deeper into this. There is a principle at work in the fabric of reality that the ancient mystics understood and that modern physics is only beginning to glimpse. It is the principle that observation shapes what is observed, that consciousness does not merely witness reality, but participates in its creation. At the quantum level, particles exist in states of pure potential until the act of measurement collapses them into specific outcomes. The observer does not just see what is there. The observer influences what becomes there. And you, in every moment of your existence, are that observer, not passively watching life unfold, but actively collapsing infinite possibilities into the singular experience you call your reality. Now extend this understanding beyond the laboratory and into the living field of your daily experience. Your consciousness is not contained within your skull. It extends outward like a field, touching everything, influencing everything, participating in the constant emergence of what appears to be an external world. And the quality of that field, the frequency it carries, determines which possibilities collapse into your experience and which remain forever unrealized in the quantum soup of potential. When your field carries the frequency of receiving, of openness, of trust, of already having, the possibilities that match that frequency begin to crystallize around you. Opportunities appear, connections form, resources flow, not through magic or wishful thinking, but through the precise mechanics of resonance. Like attracts like at the most fundamental level of reality. Your frequency is a filter that determines which slice of infinite possibility becomes your lived experience. But when your field carries the frequency of grasping, of fearing, of doubting, of protecting against loss. A different set of possibilities crystallizes. The ones that match that signal. The ones that confirm your deepest unconscious beliefs about scarcity, unworthiness, and the fundamental hostility of existence. And here is the part that most people miss entirely. These crystallized experiences then become evidence. They become proof that your fears were justified, that your doubts were reasonable, that your protective posture was necessary. And so the cycle deepens. The frequency intensifies. The pattern becomes more entrenched. And the very thing you desire moves further and further from your lived experience, not because it does not exist, but because your signal keeps selecting against it. This is the trap, the evidence trap, the loop where your frequency creates your reality confirms your frequency, and the whole system becomes self-reinforcing. Breaking free from this loop is the single most important thing you can do for your life. And it begins not with changing your circumstances, but with changing the frequency from which you observe them. I want to pause here and ask you something. When did you first become aware that you were blocking your own receiving? Was there a specific moment, a relationship, a loss that made you realize the signal you were sending did not match what you truly wanted? Share that moment in the comments, because naming it is the first step in releasing it. Pause and breathe into that for a moment. Consider what happens when you truly, deeply expect something. Not hope for it, not wish for it. Expect it with the same casual certainty with which you expect the sun to rise tomorrow. There is no tension in that expectation, no anxiety, no grasping. You do not lie awake at night worrying about whether the sun will appear. You do not create vision boards of sunrise. You do not affirm to yourself that you are worthy of daylight. You simply know. And in that knowing there is a profound relaxation, a complete absence of resistance, an open channel through which the expected reality flows without obstruction. That is the frequency of receiving. Not excitement, not desire, not hope. Knowing. A deep, cellular, bone-level knowing that what is yours is already on its way, and that your only job is to remain open to its arrival. This knowing is not something you generate through willpower. It is something you uncover by removing everything that contradicts it. Every doubt, every wound, every inherited belief about what is possible and what is not. Every time someone told you to be realistic. Every time life seemed to confirm that good things happen to other people but not to you. All of that accumulated debris sits between you and the frequency of receiving, and all of it can be cleared. Not through force, but through awareness. Through the gentle, persistent willingness to see what is actually there and to let it dissolve in the light of your attention. There is a woman whose story illuminates this principle with startling clarity. Not a specific woman with a name you would recognize, but an archetype, a pattern that repeats itself across countless lives. She spent years pursuing love with an intensity that bordered on desperation. Every relationship began with hope and ended with heartbreak. Every new connection carried the invisible weight of every previous disappointment. She did everything the book suggested. She visualized her ideal partner. She wrote lists of desired qualities. She affirmed her worthiness of love. And still, love eluded her. Or more precisely, love arrived but always in forms that confirmed her deepest fear, that she was not enough to keep it. What she did not realize What she could not see from inside the pattern was that her entire approach to love was saturated with the frequency of absence. Every visualization was powered by loneliness. Every affirmation was an attempt to override a deeper belief in her own inadequacy. Every new relationship was unconsciously designed to answer a question she had been asking since childhood. Am I lovable? And because the question itself carried the energy of doubt, the answers the universe provided always reflected that doubt back to her. The shift came not through another technique or another relationship, but through a moment of radical honesty. She stopped. She sat with the ache. She allowed herself to feel the full weight of the loneliness she had been running from her entire life. And in that sitting, in that willingness to be present with what was actually there, instead of constantly trying to fix it or escape it, something unexpected happened. The loneliness began to dissolve, not because it was replaced by something better, but because she finally stopped resisting it. She stopped treating it as evidence of her unworthiness and started seeing it as simply an energy, a frequency she had been carrying, a broadcast she had been sending without knowing it. And when the loneliness dissolved, what remained was not emptiness but fullness, a quiet, steady sense of being complete exactly as she was. Not because she had convinced herself she did not need love, but because she had discovered that the love she was seeking outside herself had been inside her all along, buried beneath layers of resistance and self-rejection. From that place of inner fullness, her frequency shifted entirely. She was no longer broadcasting need. She was radiating presence. And love, the kind she had always wanted, began to find her with an ease that would have seemed impossible just months before. This is not a fairy tale. This is the mechanics of frequency at work. This is what happens when you stop trying to attract from a place of lack and start allowing from a place of wholeness. The universe does not reward suffering. It does not respond to desperation. It responds to coherence, to alignment, to the signal that says, I am already whole, and from that wholeness, I welcome more. But here is where it gets interesting. This principle does not only apply to love, it applies to everything. Every area of your life where you feel stuck, blocked, or frustrated is an area where your frequency is contradicting your intention. Where the signal you are sending does not match the reality you say you want. And the contradiction is almost never where you think it is. Take abundance for example. Most people who struggle with money believe their problem is external. Not enough opportunities, not enough education, not the right connections, not enough luck. And while circumstances certainly play a role, they are not the root cause. The root cause is the frequency from which you relate to abundance, and that frequency was usually set long before you ever earned your first dollar. Think back to the earliest messages you received about money, about wealth, about people who had it and people who did not. Think about the emotional atmosphere in your childhood home when bills arrived. Think about the subtle, unspoken beliefs that were transmitted to you not through words, but through energy, through the tightness in a parent's voice, through the anxiety that filled the room when finances were discussed, through the implicit message that money was scarce, dangerous, corrupting, or simply not for people like you. These early impressions did not just shape your thoughts about money. They set your frequency around it. They established the baseline vibration from which you would relate to abundance for the rest of your life, unless you consciously chose to examine and shift it. And most people never do. Most people inherit a frequency of scarcity and spend their entire lives trying to create abundance from within that frequency, wondering why their efforts never seem to produce lasting results. The universe is not withholding abundance from you. Abundance is the natural state of the cosmos. Look at the stars. Look at the cells in your body. Look at the leaves on a single tree. Creation is inherently, overwhelmingly, almost absurdly abundant. Scarcity is not a feature of the universe. It is a feature of human consciousness. A learned frequency. A broadcast that says there is not enough. And the universe, in its perfect responsiveness, says, if that is your signal, then that is what I will reflect back to you. Shifting this frequency requires something more than positive thinking. Positive thinking, when it sits on top of an unexamined foundation of scarcity, is like painting over rust. It may look better for a while, but the corrosion continues underneath. True frequency shifting requires going to the foundation, meeting the original wound, feeling the fear that was installed before you had words for it, and allowing it to be seen, acknowledged, and gently released. This is not a one-time event. It is an ongoing practice. A daily willingness to notice when you have slipped back into the old frequency and to gently, without judgment, return to the new one. Like tuning an instrument, it requires patience and repetition. But each time you return to the frequency of receiving, the new pattern strengthens. The neural pathways deepen. The energetic signature becomes more stable, and the external world begins to reflect the shift with increasing clarity and speed. Tell me in the comments, what is the one inherited belief about scarcity or unworthiness that you are finally ready to release?
And maybe the truth is, it was never about chasing harder, wanting more, or forcing outcomes. It was about becoming the version of you that can actually hold what you've been asking for. Because what you desire isn't running from you. It's responding to you. Every thought, every emotion, every belief is either opening the door or quietly closing it. So if things haven't arrived yet, don't question your worth. Question your frequency. Shift that, and you won't have to chase anything again. It will recognize you and find you